You know who wasn't especially impressive today?
Who's that,
no
Bill?
one impressed. Like, no one had a good day. Yegor Zamula, however, second game back in the lineup, replacing Emil Andrae, a healthy asterisk scratch in my mind. Like, yeah, he's healthy.
Probably.
He's healthy-ish. Like in Moneyball. Like, yeah, he's healthy-ish.
Healthy-ish.
Yeah. Gotta believe now with a few days, especially. Was it Wednesday they play next?
Yes.
We'll be seeing Emil Andrae back in the rotation.
We better be.
I'm in the same. I was literally going to say the exact same thing, Kelly. They better.
It would be wild if they didn't.
Yeah, well, it's just the big problem tonight was lack of ability to get up ice and produce offense. 18 shots on goal, you were saying. What'd they finish with?
22 allegedly.
But 18 shots with 2 minutes left. Emil Andrae is maybe their best transition defenseman in terms of passing the puck. Like, Sanheim is their best skating transition defenseman in terms of carrying the puck out of the zone himself.
Yeah.
Andrae may be the best guy at passing the puck out of the zone. And guess what? That helps you get shots on goal because it puts you on the attack more often. Look, I never really agreed with the scratching in the first place. My thing is, look, this season, while I would like to see the Flyers make the playoffs, I think, if they earn it, they should get it. I'm not going to root against them. However, this season doesn't matter as much as 2-3 years down the line. And if they think that Andrae will benefit developmentally from sitting out for a game or two, fine. Hopefully that's the purpose that it serves. But if you're talking about this team in the here and now, they are better with Emil Andrae in the lineup. And this game, I don't know if they would have won this game with Emil Andrae and over Yegor Zamula, but I think they would have had a better chance of winning this game if Andre's in over Zamula. Zamula has what looked like a bad read on the Matt Boldy breakaway goal, where he kind of gets pulled over to the side and doesn't recognize that they're probably going to try to stretch it. He was, other than that play, unremarkable, I would say. That was a not great play to my eyes, but other than that, I don't think he was horrific. That said, I don't think he did a lot to help them create offense, whereas Emil Andrae, on a consistent basis for the last month and a half, has done a lot for them to create offense, and he should be back in the lineup to help them create offense.
Yeah, and there's just nothing else I feel like left to learn about Yegor Zamula. Like, I feel like we know now what he is. He's like this guy who is sometimes fine, but often not, and usually ends up making one glaring error per game that ends up in the back of the net. And so, like, I feel like if we're still in evaluation phase, which we very clearly are, now it's time to see way more of Emil Andrae because we don't 100% know what he is yet.
Yeah.
So let's find out. I don't need to learn anything else about Zamula. Like, I feel like I'm full up on knowledge of what he's going to bring us.
I saw a lot of, like, especially after the misplay that leads to the breakaway,
right?
Like the read, and then he's probably needs to be further over. Yeah. Then the puck hops the stick. Just a bunch of things went wrong for Zamula on that play. Like a whole lot of, well, how could Tortorella think this guy's better than Andrae? He doesn't. We know he doesn't because, like, yeah, it's only a few minutes, but like Zamula, 18 and a half today about. Andrae was consistently playing over 20 minutes. Yeah. Like, they were fine. Like, he had games where he was second on the team. He had one, I think, where he was like right there with Sanheim. He was using him far more often. I just think we have to separate. Well, he thinks he's better because he didn't play Zamula over Andrae. He took Andrae out because Andre's play was slipping from where it had been in the previous 2 weeks to the last 2 games or so. And he got rocked in that Columbus game. It would not shock me if it was like, oh, yeah, we're not going to call it a concussion. But
he was practicing. But I could see it being a little precautionary.
Yeah, like
hey, maybe the headache pops up 4 days later.
I'm not saying he's injured, but if it's something that was just like, yeah, we saw you get rocked, man, and you haven't been as good, now seems like a good time for you to do some of that learn by watching stuff that we talk about all the time. Yeah. And as long, like, 2 games is not going to kill him. If I see at the end of the year he missed these 2 games, I'll go, all right, whatever. If it continues, like, this is foolish because he's, like, part of the future.
Right.
And that's, if he's not, I want to learn that too.
Yes.
Like, if his play continues to dip, I want to see that happen now. So we're not doing what we do with some of these guys that we've been watching for 3 years. Like, what are they still? It's like, and I want to find out now.
Right. That's the thing. Like, I don't want to see this turn into, like, a rotation where it's like, well, we haven't seen Zamula in 5 games, so Andrae's got to sit even though he's playing well. Like, no, not at this point.
The thing that makes it especially difficult to handle when you pull Andrae out of the lineup and you bring Zamula in is just the way the pairs fall. Because where they're at right now, like obviously, York and Sanheim is your top pair. We'll talk a little bit more about Cam York in a little bit because he had a rough game. Then you have Sealer, Drysdale. Well, they're trying to develop Drysdale. They're trying to kind of ease him back in. He missed some time, and they know it's going to be a long-term project. So they don't want Jamie Drysdale to be getting second pair minutes. They want to be developing him in lesser minutes, lesser matchups. Nick Sealer is the guy they designated to be the Jamie Drysdale partner for multiple reasons. Number one, Sealer has been good the last couple of years. He's that steadying presence. Number two, he's a big guy who's willing to drop the gloves, and Drysdale's the kind of guy the teams take runs at sometimes. So I think that's probably part of it too. But Sealer Drysdale is your third pair. Rasmus Ristolainen has been very good this year, so he's clearly on that second pair. If you pull Andrae out of the lineup and you don't want to move Sealer up because you want to keep him with Drysdale, Zamula functionally has to be your second pair left-handed shooting defenseman. That's what he has to be, left side defenseman. He's barely been good enough this year to be a quality third pair defenseman. The reason why Andrae was such a big deal, his surprise emergence, why it was such a big deal for this team is because they didn't have any clear-cut solutions to solve the second pair problem. It was like, well, if Drysdale's not ready, I guess they're just screwed. And it seemed like they were until they called Andrae up, and it was like, wait a minute, this guy's left-handed Sean Walker. Maybe they have an internal solution that can make this team a quality team for the rest of this season when I didn't think they had a solution. And you're seeing when they pull him out of the lineup, it's the exact same problem they had the first month, where it's like Drysdale ain't ready to be a second pair defenseman. Sealer's his partner. Ristolainen can be a top 4 guy if he's got the right partner. Andrae might be that partner. I think we're all pretty clear Zamula isn't. Yeah. And when Andre's out of the lineup, Zamula has to be. And it just reminds us that he's not that guy. Maybe he could be sometime down the road. You guys are skeptical. Frankly, I'm skeptical too. The Flyers have higher hopes for him. But I'm very confident he's not that guy now.
Yes.
Whereas Andrae, at least in a small sample size, has shown that he can be.
He at least has traits that they need in that role. Like, yes, Yegor Zamula did a nice job for a little bit on the power play last year. Also, like, where they were when he took over, they couldn't have gotten worse. Yeah. Like, statistically impossible, just about. Other than that, like, I can't, like, what is the thing that he does that keeps, it's like, oh, he's just kind of okay at it, several different things where it's like Andrae you can point to. Yeah, like you just said, he might be the best player on this team with the breakout pass. Yeah. Might be the best guy at it already with, 20 games played in his career in the NHL. So, like, that's a thing you can point to and go, well, we need that. That's something that puts him in the lineup. It's a skill set. It's a reason to have him out there.
It's just when he's not in the lineup, it makes that second pair weakness so glaring.
Yes.
Because he's the only guy who can maybe fill it. And maybe he won't keep it up, but he's the only guy who has a chance to.
Yes.
Something I just noticed, because you're talking about the Sealer-Drysdale pair. Drysdale plays like 22 minutes tonight. Sealer plays 11.
Interesting.
Sealer doesn't play about the last 8 minutes of the third.
Well, they're chasing the game.
I was just thinking about how it unfolded.
Yeah.
They pulled the goalie with like 4.5 minutes left.
Right.
Clearly generating offense a problem. Again, they had 18 shots and only 5 forwards had a shot on goal with 2 minutes left. Do you think this is probably just like, well, we need offense and you're the guy who doesn't do that?
Probably.
Yeah, they were trailing for most of this game. Look, Sealer hasn't been great this year, but he is
definitely not what he was last year.
He is the defense guy.
Yeah.
They know, he might have a good offensive play here and there. He had that one really nice pinch that led to the goal a few games ago, but he's the defense guy. And when you're down 2 goals, you're not going to play the defense guy.
We all silly like the mayor.